Welcome to In the Green Room. I'm Kinga.
And I'm Chet.
I'm Joyce.
Richard here.
And I'm Amberlee.
And we are going to have such a great show here because we are talking about how people are first responders that are saving children and people, and your experience, you know, that you were saving lives. You're a hero. So tell us how that came about, because I know that you experienced something in your childhood.
To push me to it.
Okay, so Amberlee, she's the general manager of a bar named Seven, and she's been a first responder for years, and we are just going to talk about all the ways she's been helping others.
All right. Well, when my brother was 11, he almost died. He got diagnosed with a severe sinus infection, as well as 2 different strains of the flu. He had a fever of about 106.
Wait, that's important. 2 strands of flu.
Yeah.
It's very rare that you can have 2 strands of flu at the same time.
Plus a sinus infection.
Have you heard of that?
Poor guy, no.
Yeah.
Nope. I've had several kids and lots of flus going around and never heard of 2 at once.
So
Yeah.
and how many people were in your family? Do you have other brothers and sisters?
Yeah, it's my parents, then I'm the oldest of 3. So my brother's the middle.
And anybody else got sick?
No, just him. He was the
Really?
only one sick at the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I thought at the same time one of your grandparents was ill as well, but
Yeah.
not with the flu.
Yeah, that
cancer.
same day my grandma got diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer.
Yeah, that's
Ouch.
that's
Tough-
different.
Tough
Yeah.
time for your family.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you guys were originally from Chicago, but living here in Arizona.
Yep.
Tell us what you saw and what you went through.
So that day, my brother was obviously had a high fever of 106. So in the middle of the night, decided to get up and try to shower to cool his body down, but then had a seizure because his fever was so high.
Yeah.
So my mom woke up and obviously called 911. And I just remember hearing his name being screamed at about 4 a.m. and then walking out and seeing his lifeless body. So.
And you were at the time, what, 13?
I was 13.
About
Yeah.
13.
He died.
Okay.
He didn't die.
Yay! The first responders, the heroes.
Yeah, I heard lifeless too.
Saving
So the
lives.
story went like this too.
Saving
Like,
lives one life at a time.
I know. He looked lifeless,
Okay,
honestly. I mean, but at 13, you don't know what to expect walking out, seeing your brother looking like that. But we all went to the hospital, followed the ambulance. He was in a medically induced coma for about 6 days.
Sure.
Just to try to regulate
Very
his
serious.
body.
Kid, poor
Yeah.
family.
Yes.
And then, the same day, my mom gets a call that our grandma got diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer. So it was just a whole day of absolute chaos.
And this whole story is how she got inspired to want to become in the medical field and being a hero and saving lives.
Well, that was one question I have. So, are you a paramedic then? Because I think a first responder is a kind of a blanket term for cops, firefighters,
Yes.
paramedics, and
Yeah. Right.
That's a great question.
That's true.
who else? I think other people
Everyone.
too. Sheriffs.
Yeah.
Anybody who would respond to an accident, right?
Yeah. It is a blanket term. I'm an EMT.
Okay, cool.
EMT, yeah.
So the same as a paramedic then, right?
They have their.
Yes, very similar.
It is. Yeah. They're just.
What are
able
the
to,
differences, I guess?
They're able to administer drugs.
Okay.
I cannot.
Okay.
I have only 5 drugs that I can administer. Well, what's labeled as a drug. Paramedics can do all of it on the ambulance. They're basically they're
Like
just
doctors.
underneath
Paramedics
the
are the
nurse.
plug. Okay.
Yeah.
So are you on an ambulance?
I was.
You were,
Yes,
okay.
for 3 years.
That's tough.
Yeah. It was. I saw a lot. I was in the middle of Mesa, which is basically like being in Phoenix. I feel like. But yeah, that I was inspired because of the first responders that saved my brother.
Right. So he had the high fever, then he had a seizure, a grand mal seizure.
Yeah.
Okay, which are really
Essentially.
tough. But you never saw the seizure part of it
No.
when you were 13. It's
No.
a pretty tough thing to see.
Yeah. By the time, like I said, I heard the first responders yelling his name. So they were already on scene by the time, so I didn't see the seizure happening.
Something incredible that she told me earlier is that her mom considered all those first responders, paramedics, to be heroes, and
Well, they
because
are.
they saved his
Yeah.
life.
Mhm.
He's alive today because of what they did. And
Uh,
how did they go above and beyond what they were supposed to do?
I don't know the full extent. I know that what he said, he had to kind of just think about his training and kind of go a little bit out of protocol in order to save my brother, and do some things that weren't essentially allowed. But I mean, it brought
Really?
him back to life.
But tell us
So-
how your mom stayed in touch with these
Interesting.
gentlemen and how you ended up getting your first ride to get your job
Oh yeah, my
with the same hero that saved your brother's life.
Oh, the same person?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
So my
Yes.
mom stayed in
That's
touch with
special.
my mom stayed in touch with the captain who was the one who administered care to my brother. Stayed in touch with him all those
That's
years. And then so that happened when I was 13. I was still in middle school. I graduated college, still didn't know what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to do medicine.
You graduated from where?
U of A.
Okay, U of A. That's right.
Yeah.
You were living and you were working at the Four
Ritz-Carlton.
Seasons or Ritz-Carlton in
Yeah.
Marana.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
Marana
in
and
Ritz-Carlton.
Tucson.
So you started in the hospitality industry
Very young.
at a
At
young
16,
age.
yes.
Yeah,
And then
okay.
I continued through,
Through
even with
college.
college, yeah.
And she ended up being a bartender there and a supervisor and
Mhm.
'Cause
et
those
cetera,
are-
et cetera.
Those are some nice places.
at a very
Yeah.
young age.
Yeah.
That's where I really grew at the Ritz-Carlton.
Yeah.
Because that's where I started bartending also. So I
Not
was
at
used to
not
the
at 16.
classic. Not at 16,
You weren't
no.
bartending at 16.
No.
Okay. All right, there we go.
Yeah.
I was 21, 22, I don't know. But yeah, I graduated college and then didn't really know what I wanted to do. And my mom said, well, Captain Adam, who saved my brother, she said she still kept in touch with him. She was like, if you want, I could get you on a ride along with him. And that's
That's
when
so
I kind
cool.
of fell in love with
Really? So you'd
the
never thought of being an EMT?
Never before, no. I was actually looking at nursing or like.
Well, she wanted to be in the medical
so
field.
you were looking at something in the medical field.
Yeah.
And she studied a lot of that, and that's how
Yeah.
something she explained to me earlier is that they have like 1,000 applicants, and they only choose how many?
Yeah.
For EMTs?
Yeah, so I went to school. I
Mhm.
after I graduated, I went to got my EMT right after in the semester. It was a full semester long, and then I started applying to be a firefighter. And yeah, there were 1,000 applicants,
Yeah,
and
that's,
they
yeah,
were
that's a tough one.
they were
Mhm.
only taking 28, and I made it through to the oral board, so I made it in the top 100. But they cut pretty hard for 28 people.
So you
That's a big deal.
want to be an EMT, but you have to apply to be a firefighter.
Yeah, so you can. No, I was going for my firefighter in the state of Arizona, and I think for most part, you have to have your EMT in order to be a firefighter.
But what if you just want to be an EMT? Do you have to fight fires also?
No, I was
Good
just
question.
an EMT.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's
I
what
was just
mean.
on the ambulance
Okay.
eventually. Yeah,
I think she was
applied
just
to
adding
it.
that she was trying to become a firefighter
Yeah.
too. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
You wanted to fight
That's why she
fires.
applied
I wanted
for it.
to it.
Oh.
But they only took 28. That's so selective.
That's
That's like
so
97%.
I don't know if you
Yeah.
remember, but your cousin Trevor, that's all he wanted to be was a firefighter, and he tried here, he tried in multiple states, and he could never make it.
Yeah.
He tried and tried. So yeah, it's very difficult.
And that means they only accept 3%. That's really difficult.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we should really respect our heroes that are fighting fires and our EMTs and ambulance and all that. And it's interesting because you did this for so many years and the pay is so low.
Yeah.
How did you
Really?
do that
And
for
the
so
hours
many
are- and
years?
the hours are
Not
horrible.
surprised.
Yeah.
She was working
Yeah.
all night. Tell us about that.
Yeah.
What you went through.
I think it was $15 an hour. I did 12-hour shifts, 3 to 4 shifts a week, because it's split. It was 3 shifts one week, 4 shifts the next week. And then I was working 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. So I was overnight, which is when we really saw everything.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
So-
she even ended up in jails. I mean,
we picked
saving
up out of
people.
jail.
Sure. Yeah, yeah.
You know, they had to. So she was dealing with it, like shootings and.
Yeah.
You tell
So
'em.
was it all over Tucson?
It was most all over Mesa.
All over Mesa?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Because once I realized I wasn't getting in to Tucson or Northwest Fire down in Tucson, I started applying up to Phoenix. I just felt like I needed to be up here anyways. There was more going on. And so I got in on an ambulance company up here, and I started within 2 weeks. So, yeah, that was all in Mesa.
So why is the pay so low when ambulances are famously so expensive?
Right?
That's a
Isn't
great
that crazy?
question.
So confusing that they don't restructure the
You
pay
guys
structure
didn't-
because without the EMTs, there's no ambulances.
There
so.
not Yeah. And it's like $1,200 for an ambulance.
Exactly. So it's wild that
That's a
the
great
people
question.
working in the ambulance don't get like $50 per pickup or something like that when they're obviously there's a lot of money coming in for each pickup.
So who's raking
Yeah.
in that money? That's a good question.
But it's the hospitals at that point, or the company running the ambulance. You know.
Wow.
Do the hospitals in Mesa have their own ambulances, or they subbed out?
So the fire departments have their own ambulances.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
So anytime you get picked up, it
Right.
goes to the
Yeah.
fire department.
It's just outrageous, though, that people would train, you know, to be an EMT and work those kind of hours and save people's lives and get paid $15 an hour.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And see, I mean, something we spoke of
outrageous.
earlier today is
Especially when they know that there's
Mhm.
all this money coming in for their service that they're not going to see any of it. It's so
well,
frustrating.
especially like on one of her calls, she
That's
actually
typical.
showed up and somebody's head was shut off. I mean,
Yeah, he shot himself in the head, like right underneath his jawline.
Oh,
and so
So he
she
didn't
still
really
lives
have
with
a
those
face.
memories of
Yeah.
what she
Yeah.
saw. You know, hurt
Yeah,
children.
that's called
and
PTSD.
Mhm.
she has that.
Yeah.
I think
her.
my partner had a lot of PTSD after 20 years in the field.
Mhm. You bet.
But yeah, I didn't want to take on that negativity anymore. Like that's what people
Yeah.
were doing in the field. Like that's what I saw the firefighters.
It's
you know,
smart that you
the
decided, hey,
ambulance
I want
people.
out.
Yeah, they were all taking on that negativity. I was like, I
Yeah.
want more positivity in my life.
So
like
has it changed at all since you
since I left.
did it? Yeah.
That's a
Not
good
that
question.
I'm aware of. You know, it's
Yeah.
still like everything else in the world. Everything is political. You know, so when I was
Yeah.
leaving, there was just a lot of political arguments about like the services, where the money's going, what's happening, and I was like, this is not. We're not saving lives here at this point. We're just like catering to a bigger problem.
Yep.
Like I'm picking up the same people on the streets all the time. Like, what are we doing here? Why are we still transporting them? It was actually really frustrating.
so you're getting
Continue to do
repeat
it.
customers.
They would see a lot of
Their
people
name.
that were on drugs.
Yeah, a lot of repeat customers.
I can't remember
Sure.
what drugs you would see or what they were doing.
All of them.
Okay.
Fentanyl is the biggest one on the streets. Some people would
So it
even
was
think-
when you were working still?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So how long ago was that you stopped?
I stopped in 2020.
Okay. So
No, I
so-
started in 2020. I'm sorry. I stopped in 2021.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not that long ago.
No, it was only been a couple years.
Okay.
And then she started working for a bar in Old Town
Yeah.
and quickly got promoted, and the rest was history. And
Yeah.
so
So back to the hospitality industry, which
Yes.
you
Yeah.
had obviously a lot of experience with.
Yeah, I stuck to things I knew, and I knew I could grow quickly. Plus, like in the meantime, I've been just really working on growing as an individual, like leadership wise.
because you're only 30.
Yeah, I recently turned 30, and so
What month is your birthday?
July.
Okay.
Oh,
Recent.
Really recently.
Yeah.
Happy
Oh,
birthday.
wow. Happy
Thank
birthday.
you.
What day?
The 6th.
Wow. Happy
Yeah.
birthday. Cheers.
Thanks.
Cheers. Happy
Cheers.
birthday.
Well,
There you
thank
go.
you.
Plastic water.
Mine's not until 6 weeks. Another 6 weeks.
Oh, good. So we have to have a show about your birthday.
Yeah,
You're
everyone's around the
August.
same.
September.
September.
So that's
Nice.
exciting though, because now as a general manager of the Caesars rooftop restaurant bar called Seven,
Mhm.
if somebody is choking, you can be there to save them.
Yeah, I told the
That's
security
right,
director.
multitask. Here, have a drink.
Oh,
Oh, they're
yeah.
choking. I'll just save you.
We already had an incident actually.
Did you? Okay,
We
tell
had
us.
someone have a seizure in the middle of the restaurant.
And you know what
Yeah.
to do.
But I told our security director, he's newer, he's
And he's a police?
ex-PD,
Yeah, exactly.
ex-Phoenix PD detective. And I told him, he's like, I'm so happy to have someone who has experience like in the building, because we don't really have much security right
Sure.
now.
Yeah.
I got him to get Narcan in-house, which
Oh,
is
yeah.
Which
great.
is important these
Yeah.
days.
Yeah. And
Because
he's like-
Narcan, she taught me earlier, is
Yeah.
what if somebody has a problem with any of those opioids,
So fentanyl.
Including fentanyl.
it can save their lives. Yeah.
So I told him anytime, CPR needs to be done, I want to be the first call, because I miss doing CPR. I know how crazy that sounds.
Oh, that's great though.
It sounds insane, but when you're in the field, you really create a sort of we compartmentalize, and we learn to deal with things in a very humorous way.
Sure.
I guess
Sure.
very dark humor.
Of course.
Did you ever
Just the
go
way to
out?
deal with it?
Well, doctors do as well.
Yeah.
I have a lot of friends who are surgeons and doctors, and yeah, dark humor is kind of it, and
Yeah.
people don't understand it until they realize that.
So when somebody's having a seizure like that, how do you determine if it's from something like,
A drug?
or no, I'm trying to think what what's the
Epilepsy.
condition, epilepsy or something like that that's genetic,
It doesn't
or
make
if
any
it's
difference.
from drugs.
Oh, it doesn't make a difference.
Well, you would only give Narcan in one of the situations,
No.
right?
Okay, hold on. Joyce,
Oh.
Yeah.
her child has epilepsy.
Interesting.
My daughter had epilepsy, and she never had grand mal seizures, but if it's a drug related, you can correct me if I'm wrong, if it's a drug related incident, then you use Narcan. But if it's epilepsy, if it's a plain old seizure, you just treat it as a seizure.
So I guess my question is, how do you know the difference between the two?
That's a good question.
I know what a grand mal seizure looks like. I've never seen anybody for Narcan, so I need Narcan. So
Yeah.
you can answer that one.
That's a good question. Yes.
I've actually never administered anyone for Narcan having a seizure. Seizures are kind of, I don't even think that I've seen anyone
I don't
heard
think-
of it happening with drugs.
I mean, opioids.
Their heart stops mostly.
Oh, okay.
So I've done CPR on people who've overdosed,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
and that's when we would administer Narcan. So Narcan is essentially just used for opioids solely. Yeah,
See, so I never knew about this until today.
And,
actually.
and there are lots of reasons
I know,
for seizures.
never heard that.
Yeah.
Epilepsy is one
Need to get
reason
out
for
more.
seizure.
I don't think
Well, I've
High
heard that. I've heard
High
that
fevers.
certain drug combination overdoses do give you a seizure, but I don't know what they are.
Perhaps.
They
I have no
can,
No
idea.
yeah.
doubt.
And see, that's why, you know, the kids out there, if you're listening to the show and you're somebody that's out having fun and you get too drunk, then you could get talked into taking a drug that you shouldn't be taking because you're not even with it enough to know to say no.
Or somebody could convince you to drink Kendall Jackson. No, I'm kidding.
I was kind of low.
It's
gonna come eventually.
That was a low blow.
I'm drinking
I'm gonna
Doing
hashtag
it.
Kendall Jackson.
Doing it.
I like Kendall
I'm
Jackson.
Team Pillsbury.
I like-
Team Pillsbury.
Okay, I love Sam Pillsbury and he's a
Okay.
favorite.
We gotta
of mine.
pick a team.
But
Okay?
I like Kendall
No, you gotta
Jackson.
pick a
Team
team.
Sparklets.
We're gonna hashtag Kendall Jackson. Here we go. Boom.
Not the worst thing I've
They need
Oh,
the,
no,
they
I
need
think
the
it's
help.
No, listen.
Yeah, they need the help more than
I'm telling
Sam.
you, I have tremendous respect for the history of Kendall Jackson. I mean, it's an amazing story.
Oh really?
Oh yeah, they created an empire. You know, not as big as Gallo, but almost, and it still is. And they own many wineries and lots of vineyards, and you know, they make lots of different wines. This is actually pretty decent Chard.
So is it one owner? Do you know?
Well, it started off as,
Mhm.
but you know, it's a huge company, and he died a few years ago. I know the original
Because I don't know if you know Chet, but cousin Jackie,
Kendall.
that remember was the horse trainer and horse jockey and all that. She used to work for the owners of Kendall Jackson, and
Okay.
she used to represent their horses
Nice.
in all those shows. Yeah. So
Yeah, they're
shout out to Kendall Jackson.
It's a huge
I
organization.
don't know. I support local wines more, but
I agree.
you're gonna
We
enjoy
love
it.
Sam Pillsbury, but you know what? Our Amberlee here. I said,
Are
pick
you throwing her
anyone
under
you
the
want.
bus? Oh.
Totally is.
Oh wow!
Throwing
No,
her
you're the
under
one that
the
bought it
bus.
still. No, you can't get out on that
Throwing
because
a
you
guest
bought
under
it
the bus,
still.
Not a good plan.
You could have seen the Kendall Jackson, and you could have added another bottle. You could have bought another bottle too. So that's still on you.
Well, last week we bought a Vouv, and you know, at the last minute when I have to go to the quick little local liquor store, I did spend a lot of money because you can get that bottle for like what, $45 somewhere
You
Yeah.
can't buy Vouv for $45 anywhere.
Is it
at
including-
Costco. At
Buy
Costco.
anything at Costco.
At Costco,
It's
it's like
$45 at Costco.
$45 at
Oh,
Costco.
that's good.
Costco's
Yes.
crazy.
And in the liquor
Yeah,
store
it's
right
usually
here,
accepted
Chuck,
for
Don't
last
run to Costco.
last week, guess how much?
I
How
would
much
never
was
buy
the Vouv
Vouv.
yesterday? Or last week?
What?
$100.
Oh yeah, yeah.
$110 with
Yeah,
tax.
yeah, yeah.
Yes. So, cheers. I was happy you picked
You
Kendall
must have been
Jackson.
desperate.
Because my bill with Chet's water and his Red Bull was $24. So thank you. Cheers. So I
How
was
much
happy that
the
she
Kendall
picked it.
Jackson?
Woo. So
How much
Joyce
was the
Lynch
water?
is a
but how much was my water? How much was my before we get there? How much was my sparkling
5 cents.
water? Wow.
5 cents.
Cheap date.
They stock that here. For
Right?
the,
Yeah, it's free. You don't even spend 5 cents on it.
So Joyce Lynch is a local. She's been a attorney for representing real estate law in multiple states, and she's done some development. Tell us a little bit about you. Now you do real estate.
Okay, I sell residential real estate. I'm with Russ Lyon Sotheby's. So Amberlee, when there's somebody at
Yes.
your bar at 7 at Caesars, and they want to buy some real estate, I'm going to give you my card, and you're going to
Yes.
say, "Here, Joyce is an awesome real estate agent." There we go. So,
Sounds like a plan.
And then
Okay.
she'll get a cut.
no, I can't give a commission. I
Oh,
can't
that's
give
right.
part of a
Okay, you
cut
can't.
to a non-realtor. But you, get your
But you can
license
take her out
and-
to dinner.
I can take you out for dinner. I'd be happy to.
There you go.
We'll go to the Global Ambassador.
There we
You
go.
can go to,
Have it
go
There
to
we
the,
go.
Go
There
to
we
the
go.
competition.
There we go.
Might as well find that one out. So,
There we go.
yeah. So it's a deal. So my husband and I did spec work, development work at Kukio in on the Big Island in Hawaii.
Ooh.
We did
Yeah.
Wow.
Richard just
Where's
got back
that?
from
Is that
Hawaii.
on the east side or west side?
It's right next to Hualalai, Four Seasons.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it's up.
Yeah.
It's up from Kona.
It's a very
Yeah.
exclusive,
It's
invitation only,
Private club.
private club.
So
Yeah.
we only
There's
built
a
our
lot of
specs
that
and
around
clubs.
there. Yeah.
So and
Yeah.
we did specs up in Mirabel, up in North Scottsdale, up at Desert Mountain, up at Carefree Ranch Homestead. So we've done a lot of building, and then
Now she's the top realtor, and not only are you a realtor, it's important for Amberlee to understand this when you refer her. She's concierge.
I do everything for my clients as long as it's legal. I help them not only find a house, but I have painters to paint the house. I can
An
find
insurance
your house.
agent.
I have insurance
Oh, good,
agents.
yeah. Full service.
I can find you somebody to fix your car. I can find
Dentist.
you dentist. God forbid you need a root canal. Got one of those too. So I've got clients who've called me for years and years after they bought a house saying, "Hey, I need a hand. My daughter is looking for a
really?
theater camp, or my son wants to go karting. What do I do?" So I have a fun time. My clients are awesome. I just spent a weekend up in Sonoma with
That's
a set of
fun.
clients, and
Nice.
we had a really fun time.
So are you ready to
So-
buy a house yet? With
I
your
wish.
huge salary as a GM at
Oh,
the
I
7
wish.
Caesars bar restaurant?
Well, listen, servers make more than managers
That's true.
in the hospitality industry.
Maybe not right now in the summer of Arizona.
Yeah, right.
Well, you seem pretty happy there, so I think you're getting paid well.
My pay just switched over Sunday, so I haven't seen it yet. I was still hourly.
Well, hopefully it's going up and not down.
It is going
Okay.
up, yes.
It's going up, so that's
Yeah.
great. And it's pretty prestigious being up there. Have you guys been to the Caesars
No, I haven't.
7?
I
It's beautiful. It's
I understand it's great. Rooftop.
panoramic views and excellent food and great service, and I think that you guys are probably one of the best places in all of Arizona.
Oh,
And
thanks,
you're
I
to be the
appreciate
GM of that, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Is it all
Yeah.
outdoor, or
I've
is
been
it
there.
partial indoor, partial outdoor? Or like, how is it set up?
It's mostly indoor. We have
Okay.
some outdoor. And
Same.
then-
Okay.
It's all
Oh,
it's all
okay.
glass.
It's
Okay,
the
okay.
same.
Oh, the fact
Summer
it's mostly
too.
indoor is huge because then you can still get people there in the
Well,
summertime.
it's the same
Oh,
thing
yeah.
at Global.
Well, no.
Well, global about half is outdoor.
Okay, now this one
No,
is,
it's
I
not
would say
that.
80% is
Half
indoor.
of the tables are
Okay,
a lot of them.
check. Listen, it's 80% indoor. It's all panoramic views,
Yeah.
and actually,
She just answered. She knows
Okay.
that layout
but then,
better than
but then
you
the
do.
pool is sitting right
You're
there.
always drunk when you're
Pool?
leaving.
But hold on, but the pool, there's a pool that you look at, and
And
what's
my
so
hair
fun is
was.
Oh,
as
the
you're sitting
pool
there
up there
drinking
too.
and eating,
Okay, yeah.
you're watching the people in their swimsuits. And actually, the day I was
That's
there,
kind
it was
of
all
creepy
cute
when you
guys.
put it like that.
There's all these cute guys.
That was
The
hella
day I was
creepy.
there,
With
and I was
binoculars.
like, I was like, oh my gosh, it's all cute guys. And I'm sitting there with Diane, and we're
Just
just drinking
creepily
and
the
having
one old person watching.
fun. No, they were all my age. It was
Oh,
really
okay.
fun. But then there's a lot of
That's
young
why,
women.
Lots of old
yeah,
people
that's why she
watching.
was okay with it.
Yeah, that's why I was okay,
Okay,
with
so
it.
it's a rooftop restaurant.
Somewhat, yes.
Somewhat?
It's on the 7th floor.
Okay. Oh, it's on the 7th floor. I
Well, it
thought you
seems
said
like it's a rooftop.
I mean, no.
Does it go higher than that?
Yeah, there's 11 floors in the whole
It just,
hotel.
oh, okay.
It's on the roof.
That's a good
There's
question.
really nothing.
Have you never looked at the elevator when you're pushing the button?
No, I didn't.
So, but
Diane
What's the
did it.
elevator?
Perplexing.
if I'm not mistaken, there's 2 restaurants in the hotel.
Yeah, Giada has a
And they're
restaurant
both
down below.
Oh, this one's not Giada's?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay, just the one on the ground floor.
So
But-
what kind of food do you serve?
Great idea.
Well, like bar, like upscale bar food, I would say.
Upscale bar.
Oh, I think way better than that. Because, I mean, I had a really great chopped salad, and I'm picky.
That's a bar food.
That's-
Chop
no,
salad?
no,
That's
bar food.
100%.
No, but I'm,
On-
no. Most
Okay,
bars
what
don't have
cuisine
it.
are you claiming a chop salad?
Well, is there a steak on your menu?
Yes.
Yes.
Steak frites.
Okay.
Okay, yes.
Okay.
There's a
That's a
steak.
bar
Two
steak, though.
sliders.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
bar
And
steak.
Yeah.
sliders.
It's not a
okay,
fillet.
fine. All right.
Yeah.
So it's a decent menu.
Yeah.
I think it's a great menu because I'm picky. I don't eat at places where I think the food is bar food.
Mm-hmm.
Are we going tonight for dinner? Wait. hold on.
Yes, let's
Okay,
go.
fine.
Let's go.
Okay,
Let's go.
We'll
Let's
see
see
you-
where-
we'll see you at
Cheers.
There you go.
Are you
Cheers,
working
we're
tonight?
No, this is my one day off.
One day, then we'll see you tomorrow night.
There you go.
Exactly.
We'll go
So
tonight.
Exactly.
how's it doing there, the restaurants?
I mean,
It's summer, I know.
This time of the
It's
year,
summer.
probably not.
yeah.
It was pretty
It's
packed when I was there. I don't know. When I started to leave it, I guess later on it turns into like a club, and I guess you have DJs.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't
do.
see the DJ stuff going on, but when do you have DJs?
Friday, Saturday, 9 p.m. to 2 a.m.
And
Yeah.
like tomorrow night, there's a buyout. Somebody bought out the whole club from 10 to 2.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's awesome that it goes till 2. That's very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, goes till 2. Well, not as a manager because she starts at 12.
Yeah. I'm not going to be there till 2, but.
You start at 12 p.m.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
But they are, what nights of the week are you open till 2?
Friday and Saturday.
Just Friday and Saturday. What about the other
What
nights
is
till 11?
Oh, sorry.
10.
Okay, 10 or 2.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a big jump.
Do people have to buy tickets to get in for the DJs that are performing or no? Okay,
No.
cool.
No. It's just in the restaurant.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's inside, not outside, which is better because I'm at the Global. The DJs play outside,
Yeah.
and you kind of like don't hear it inside. So
It keeps everybody up in the restaurant.
That's
Yes.
true. It's loud.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
It's real loud.
So it's
Well, by that
inside of
time,
your restaurant.
People are
Mm.
doing more dancing and drinking than they are dining
No, they're still
after
dining.
midnight.
Oh, that's a good question. On Friday and Saturday nights, what time do you guys stop serving food?
11.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Okay, good. Because a lot of times I'm like, it's 10 o'clock and I'm hungry after a concert or
Hey,
something.
Kinga, would you
Oh,
pass
yes.
that Kendall Jackson, please?
Yeah, she's holding it.
It's right next to the
You can
yellowtail
have
from the
some chocolates.
Franzia.
Oh, I have my own water.
Yeah,
There you go.
I brought my own. Thank
Kendall
you.
Jackson.
This is actually pretty
I think
tasty.
it's really
You
good.
know, it's got nice acidity.
Okay,
It's
describe
not,
it.
It's not. It's fresh. Got it fresh. It's got some citrus and some stone fruit, but it's not one of these overblown, oaky, buttery
And
Chardonnay.
it has a backbone of minerality.
That's what I'm talking about.
You
Yeah,
definitely read that from the label.
Yeah,
There's no way you
Hold
came
on,
up with
And I
that.
taste a little bit of lemon custard.
it's not bad.
And
It's-
And I love an oaky buttery.
Nothing about
I know.
vanilla.
That's
Hold
not
on.
Chardonnay. This actually, you know, that.
I don't like whites, period.
Okay,
So
well.
we're just here.
We have undertones of vanilla.
oh, okay, undertones of vanilla. And what else does it say? Could you read it to us, actually?
Tropical aromas and flavors of pineapple, mango, and papaya.
I taste that.
Okay, there we
Fruits,
go.
Right.
Mango.
Feels like wine. I'm sorry. Sorry.
Gabe, do you taste pineapple or mango
No.
or vanilla?
Be honest, say no.
I have no idea.
Good for you.
Not
But do you
available.
taste the backbone of the minerality? Because Richard does.
I don't even
How does anybody know what a backbone tastes
Nobody.
like?
No.
Other
Nobody's
than
any
Jeffrey
idea.
Dahmer.
It's got decent acidity. Like I say, it's not bad.
Anyway,
This is
I
exactly
had
what
so
you
much
want.
fun meeting Amberlee because she was so sweet to us, and there was
At the,
a
at the bar, at the restaurant?
yes,
Oh,
there was a I really enjoyed my time there. I'm very picky, and I don't go back to a place that I don't enjoy. Where all the servers were so nice. There was a bartender there named Mackenzie, and then you, this beautiful Polish, and just so you know, Amberlee
That's
cooks
how we
Polish
got
food.
you
talking.
do?
Connected.
Do you make pierogies?
I have made pierogies.
Thank you.
they're
Oh my
so
gosh.
good. Okay, I
Mhm.
love those.
Ask her about
Which
what
ones
she
do you
makes
make? Do you
because
make the sauerkraut ones? I mean, now we're getting specific. The sauerkraut ones, the potato ones.
I love the sauerkraut
Which ones
dishes.
do you make?
So I did like a loaded baked potato one. I kind of switched it up. I've tried to do the sauerkraut and mushroom.
Wait, let's ask Chet. Chet, what is a pierogi? I like to stump him. He always has an answer.
I think I've had one before, but it wasn't like a homemade one. It was like a Costco sample or something.
But what
Is
is it? What is a pierogi, Chet? Let's see if you know. I know.
I don't know. It's
It's
some
like a
little
noodle made
pastry
out of
thing.
potato.
Yeah, it's a little pastry thing.
Like
It's
a
the
dumpling.
national dish.
Ravioli
It is.
thing.
It's
It's the
Dumpling.
national dish of Poland. That's
It
what
is. It is.
It's
It is.
ravioli.
It's like if someone's Polish and you say pierogi, they're like, oh yes,
Pierogi.
pierogi.
Alongside like kielbasa, you know.
Yeah.
And sauerkraut's a big part of the Polish diet
Sauerkraut
as
is
well.
so yeah, sauerkraut and sour cream seems to be in everything. It's
Absolutely.
insane.
And do you know why? Because it's probiotics. The Europeans are very smart because the German diet also has a lot of sour cream and sauerkraut because your gut health, we're learning in America here, is so important.
Oh my
And
God,
you've got
it's
so
so
much, and you get it better from foods than a pill.
Mhm.
And the best foods to get probiotics is sauerkraut, sour cream, that kind of anything fermented like that.
I mean, your overall health is based on your gut health.
100%.
If your gut isn't healthy,
Cheers.
you're gonna be sick.
Kendall,
That's just
That's
it.
let's go.
It's basic. Okay. We're good.
True.
off to sauerkraut.
Yeah.
We're all having sauerkraut for dinner and sauerkraut. That's good. So question back to 7. I'm curious. Do you hire the bartenders or whatever we're calling them now? Is there a new name for bartenders?
That's a good question.
Is
It
there
could
a
be
new name for bartenders?
politically
I don't
incorrect to
know.
say bartender.
I can't say master.
I'm
bedroom anymore.
offended. I'm so offended.
Are you really? Okay. Well, no, because
You didn't refer to them as
Yeah.
mixologists?
Well, sorry, I knew there was something else I was supposed to say.
I don't think anybody gives a shit.
I'm so sorry. Yeah,
Nobody
I
cares.
don't know. So
Nobody
Is it
cares.
funny?
in my business, I'm not supposed to call a master bedroom anymore. I'm
What?
supposed to call it
Really?
I'm supposed to call it a primary bedroom and a primary bathroom instead of master bath and master.
Why?
What are
bedroom.
the other rooms called?
Oh my gosh, primary?
Kitchen
Secondary.
is still a kitchen. Secondary is still secondary stuff.
But why can't you call it master?
It's the deal. It's
It's-
politically incorrect to call something
Wow.
a master bedroom now.
That's insane.
Isn't that funny how
So,
things could change?
There we go.
That is
So do I
crazy.
mess up sometimes? Yes.
I'm
Guilty. But I try my
That would
best.
be
That's all I
really
can
hard,
do.
yeah.
So bartenders now mixologist.
They're bartenders.
Thank you. I like that one. So do you hire the bartenders or does HR hire the
That's a great
bartenders?
question.
I mean, they get interviewed by me, and then I tell HR if I want them or not.
Okay, all right. So,
Perfect.
Because
Perfect.
that's the way it should be, because you can't just have HR sending you up these people and you call
That's a
down and
great
say,
question.
Who the heck did you send?
Right.
So, okay.
I feel like we've had that sometimes with people. I'm like, who interviewed you? How did they think that you would fit in?
Because I think that whatever you've done there, you have hired the right people.
I honestly only recently got my position.
But
Like, a
I
couple
love
days now.
But I
okay.
love like
That's all right.
What?
Yeah.
well, she's teasing because it's been a while since I've been there. But Mackenzie
No, like
is so
literally
great.
only a couple days.
became
Mackenzie, the
manager?
bartender.
No, I started in March, right after they opened, and then I was hired on as a supervisor, but then I moved up to general manager.
But didn't
I
you work
interviewed
somewhere
as
else
a general
first for their
manager.
company?
No, I worked for like a husband and wife duo who owns
yes.
a couple of
What was that bar you
restaurants.
started at?
It was called Poor Decisions.
Poor Decisions. Have you seen that yet?
I don't think so. No.
What bar is that next to?
It's right next to like Rock Bar.
I know Rock Bar. Do you know?
I've heard it's really good though. I'll have to check it out.
But
Yeah,
that's
well,
where she worked, and then she worked her way up, and then decided to leave, and the rest is history. So
yeah, the rest is history.
the rest is history. So she's doing great there.
Did you have a problem finding personnel to work there, servers and?
Well, it's newly open. First of all,
I
Yeah,
how long has
I-
it been
I've
open?
been open, but-
every job that I've like every bar that I've been in recently, I'm just like it's day one, like it's brand new. So I'm doing all these startups for some reason. I just keep
But I
getting
mean,
involved in all these
You know,
startups.
when
But to be 30 years old and be the GM of this
No, that's
bar
great, that's
restaurant
great.
is a
That's
big
great.
deal.
Yeah.
She's 30.
I'm just
She's
curious
young.
that, you know, there's all these
She's not a server. She's not a bartender. You're the
restaurants.
GM.
all these restaurants
Mm.
opening,
Yeah,
and you know, ever since COVID, a lot of people left the hospitality industry.
right.
That's a good
I
point.
did
So-
actually,
Yeah,
because I started as a first responder right when COVID hit.
yeah, and so
And that's
Did
why
it
she
backwards.
pivoted
you know,
and she
it's-
segued to do that because
it's
she was
hard
like,
to
I can't make
find
money.
servers and you know, for these restaurants and hotels, and you know, when Global Ambassador opened, they poached from all over.
I love Global Ambassador, so
Yeah.
don't say anything negative about
I'm
them. I
not
love them.
saying. I'm just saying what
Okay.
they did was they, you know, they got a lot of people.
Are you in
who
like
had
global
great-
ambassador gang or like? Don't you
Excuse me,
comment
Yes.
my
excuse me,
global
they had-
Well,
ambassador.
because he recently read a
It
review.
was funny how she getting mad.
No, I was getting
Yeah,
mad because
yeah,
he
yeah.
recently
He didn't
read,
say anything bad.
but he read
He's
a
saying-
review that wasn't good, and I thought he might try to bring that up.
I wasn't very good.
But
You brought it up.
No, but
I'm
then
just talking about
Okay.
what. Here's the
Very
topic.
specific.
Here is the topic
But,
that I'm
but
addressing.
one of the restaurants had the
Please.
best review.
Here's the topic I'm addressing
Okay,
is the shortage of people to work in all these new restaurants.
Yes.
You know.
Do you have a
so-
shortage?
I think overall, like in my experience, in any job, it's not just the shortage; it's the work ethic. There is
Exactly.
I
such
love
a
it.
lack
Boom.
of
Let's
work
cheers to that.
ethic.
I need
Exactly.
another sip of this.
Such a lack of work ethic.
here we
It's
go.
like
It's
I
true.
don't know who's raising these kids that no one knows how to work anymore nowadays. Like
I love you.
overall
That's so
job
true.
performance is
Yeah.
insane.
They're lazy.
Yeah,
Here
so
we
much
go.
laziness.
Are we talking about the under 30 crowd, under 25 crowd?
Good question.
Yeah, just
I would say under 30. I would say, you know, anyone in their 20s right now, it's a questionable. Like, am I gonna get someone with a good work ethic? I don't know. They could be super personally and bubbly, and then never show up, you know, or they could be super personable and bubbly and have like the best work ethic ever, or just not show any work ethic. And I think that's my biggest thing is I always look for someone with a reasonable amount of work ethic.
Sure.
Because what are we doing?
But when you're doing an interview, Gabe, what's happening with the time? But when somebody shows up for an interview, how can you determine that from your questioning?
Right. I think I base it on intuition. I'm gonna be honest. I have a pretty decent intuition.
It's your gut. It's your gut. Yeah.
No, yeah. You've been in the industry for a while.
Yeah.
You know.
And I've done, even as a first responder, like I was doing a lot of training and hiring, and especially then when I would sit down with these kids, I'm like, do you really think that this job is going to be good for you? He's like, I promise you right now, I'm doing your training and you're not cut out for this. And I'm telling you ahead of time, because this is a waste of your time and this is a waste of our time. And I know that's a little bit harsher. I am very blunt with my words.
You know,
but at the same time, like, I don't want you.
You are blunt with your words, and I like that. Like,
I think it's good to be straightforward, because if that person really wanted to be an EMT, that advice would inspire them to work harder at it and do what they needed to do, improve the way they needed to improve to be good enough.
And I know it sounds like a little bit off, but a lot of my issues were with the girls coming on as EMTs and stuff, because a lot of my job is physical. Like, I would have to lift 350 pound patients into the ambulance. That's part of my job. Granted, if I can't do it, I'm asking one of the guys for help. But like, for the most part, I think I was able to do 250 by myself. And that's without dropping
impressive.
a patient.
Yeah. And how many people would be on an ambulance? So it would be you and one more?
Me and one more.
So she'd make a good girlfriend. She could hold you.
They're so weird.
I'm just kidding. Can you take a joke?
I know.
That's weird as hell.
Hold you. What are you talking about?
You
Because
just
you fell down,
Total
she picked
joke.
you up.
Just a total
It's
joke.
not funny, it's just weird.
But some of these girls couldn't lift the gurney without a patient on it. And I'm like, look, at the end of the day, you're going to hurt yourself and you're going to hurt your partner, because when we two-man a patient, like, you have to equally contribute, you know, and if your partner's lifting them by yourself and it's a 400-pound patient, like, you're going to hurt your partner. So you need to figure it out. You need to figure out either getting out of this field or, you know, hit the gym.
Don't they have forklifts for that?
It's us. It's all
Well, you don't
us.
think about these things. So if there's a patient that's 400 pounds, you guys, two people lift him?
Well, who else is going to lift him?
Yeah,
I
we
didn't
both
think about
lift
it.
him.
Wow. Wow.
We're
Okay.
discussing a market that exists for supersized ambulances.
They do make bariatric ambulances
Interesting.
for up to 1,000 pounds. And
Yeah,
we've
'cause-
had one of those before.
Yeah, because how else would they
Wow.
It
take
took
somebody that's
8
that
guys.
large?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would need at least 5 people. Yeah.
Yeah, it took 8 guys to get that guy in.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
He was 1,000 pounds.
Wow, that's
That's
sad.
odd.
Well, that's what I'm
That's
talking
sad.
about. That's
Yeah.
what if you call in the forklift.
Yeah, no, like, he was actually forklifted out of his
Yeah.
apartment because
Yeah,
he was on
yeah.
like the 3rd floor.
Yeah.
Dear.
And they couldn't get him downstairs. That was
I'm
impossible.
surprised though
So
that
they broke through the
ambulances
wall.
don't have something, you know, like a lift gate.
That's
They
sad.
do for bariatrics like that.
Okay.
But typically 2 people can handle, you know.
When you bring
400
that
pounds.
gurney out, how low can the gurney go to the ground?
Great
You can
question.
Just kind of roll them on there, and then the gurney lifts them up.
The gurney goes about a foot off the ground,
Okay.
but we still have to lift them.
Well, yeah. Well, foot.
I think the heaviest patient I had myself was about 5'25".
Where was your partner?
He was there.
He was there, but
It took a couple of firefighters with us too.
Amberlee, I can't believe you're single. Like, here, you cook, you cook the Polish food, you're gorgeous, you have all this experience with
Just
first
the Polish
responding.
food, that's it.
No, and then she knows how to make a good drink. She's
and
a
you can lift
bartend.
500 pounds.
By myself, yes.
Cheers.
Oh, it's a bonus.
I'm gonna be your I'll set you up with somebody.
Advocate.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers. So I don't know if you know, but Richard Betts here is a tequila expert. He does. People pay him to go and into like bars and restaurants and do
I do.
or at the
I
Venetian.
I do.
What do you do? Tequila tastings.
Yeah, I do tequila tastings at resorts, generally for corporate groups that are there. You know, it's set up through Hello, Arizona.
So let's talk a little bit about tequila.
Yeah,
What are
I
your
love
tequilas
tequila.
at your
It's
bar?
my favorite liquor.
Oh, okay. Another
What's your
plus.
favorite tequila?
There we go.
Good
Let's
job.
ask him. That's smart. Put it back on him.
Yeah.
Good job.
There is a lot of good ones. My favorite tequilas.
What are your top 5?
I couldn't.
I swear to God, if he says Jose Cuervo,
I
I
swear.
couldn't tell you. But what I look for again in a tequila, I have an app on my phone that
Oh.
tells me a lot about that. I can look up any
Oh,
tequila
that's cool.
and it tells you how it's made and it tells you if it's additive free.
He doesn't like
That's pretty
additives in it.
sweet. I like that.
this
Yeah.
crazy app
Because
called Google.
tequila is agave
Yeah.
spirit.
That's what he's
You must have met my
Let's-
son.
Let's talk about what is tequila. What is an agave spirit, okay? As opposed to spirits that are made from grain, or
Right.
corn, or potato.
Like a vodka.
Like vodkas, you know.
Right.
Agave spirits are made from the agave plants, which is
From Jalisco.
well, that's tequila. But in
Yeah.
general, in Mesoamerica, agaves, there's hundreds of types of agave plants, and for thousands of years, indigenous people have used these as medicine, basically medicinal plants. And of course, at some point, they figured out how to ferment certain agave plants, right?
For medicinal purposes.
No, to make a beer. It's called pulque, right?
I didn't
And
know
this
that.
is
Sounds like
thousands
a
of
polka.
thousands of
Fucking
years
polka.
ago,
Let's
right?
polka. We're gonna polka. We're gonna teach that to polka.
Right?
I used to love it.
So, but agave spirits, mezcal is a broad term
Mhm.
that includes tequila, bacanora, and some other forms of agave spirits. But tequila is, and there's about 30 or 40 different agaves that can be used to make mezcals, for instance. Tequila, though, is only one specific type of agave called Blue Weber agave, and it's, as you say, mostly made in the state
Jalisco.
of Jalisco.
Did you know that? Of course.
But here's the thing that's interesting. Because agave is a medicinal plant, you know, it's very different from grains. It has a different frequency. You know what I'm talking about? A different vibrational frequency. And it does have some medicinal benefits as well.
Ironically, my stucco guy today said that his whole family.
Your stucco guy was drinking.
Everyone's got a
No.
I want to watch your stucco job. I want to see the little swirls in it.
She's like, I was doing shots with the stucco guy, and it's so weird. He messed it up 4 times. Keeps having to come back and fix it.
He's got these
No.
big swirls.
Oh, it's not correlated.
He came to look at the colors, but somehow yesterday we were talking about how his family believes that having, like, every other day having one shot of really good tequila, it keeps you healthy. Could that be
I
true?
wouldn't argue with that, yeah.
But he said not more than that.
No.
Not more than that.
Well,
Every
did you
other
know? Did you
Every
know
other day.
tequila
says.
is actually the only upper? Alcohol is a downer, but tequila is the only upper.
Everyone says that.
No,
a lot.
that's
no,
not true.
Actually, a
It
lot of
definitely
people say
helps
that.
me stay awake.
Yeah.
And everybody
No,
says
that's
that.
not true.
Everybody actually
Technically,
says that,
that's
except
not
for
true.
Richard.
Look it up.
Except for-
So, and I've looked it up, and it says it is.
Well, it's interesting.
what?
It's like it's an urban legend thing that it is
Yeah.
gives you energy, but it still technically is a depressant. If you drink enough, it will shut your
If you
respiratory
drink enough,
system
It's
down.
alcohol.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So it
Yeah,
still
but
technically
as I'm
is
saying,
a
but
depressant.
This alcohol,
But
this form of
one
alcohol
shot
made
is an
from
upper, but if you drink
agave-
any more, it's a downer. Is that right?
I don't know. Who cares?
Just enjoy
Cheers.
it.
Right?
Let's just drink our kettle
But
jacks. then.
it is a different. Look, it has a different frequency, a different vibrational frequency than spirits made from grain, for instance.
So you never answered the question. What was her
Is
question
that
was?
a higher frequency?
Yeah.
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 But her question was, what are your favorite tequilas? And you never responded.
I can't remember. Really.
Oh, come on.
No.
What do you think of?
He drank too much of them, and now he
Yeah.
can't remember.
No, I don't.
That's a good night.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Shit,
Okay,
what was
what
that
do you
stuff
think
called?
I'll tell you,
Yeah,
what
I
I
gotta know.
like.
Okay.
I'll tell you one
What
that I
about
think is very
Codigo?
good.
I like Codigo.
Yeah, it's good.
Codigo's
Codigo's
alright.
good. Fortaleza is really great.
Fortaleza, okay.
Yeah.
What do you think of the one in the blue and white bottle, the Casa Azul?
Clase Azul.
Plaza
Plaza
Azul.
Azul.
Yeah, very good again. Too commercial.
Class A
Okay,
is
what's
very
not commercial that you like?
Fortaleza.
Okay.
Now,
When I say commercial, I mean that it's not made in the traditional way. You see, the demand for tequila in the last 20 years has just
It's gone up.
exploded.
Yeah, it has gone up. Yes.
and now
price
mezcal
is
as
gonna-
well.
yes.
And so here's the big difference. You
I'm
know,
gonna find
to
my trip.
grow the agave plant that is harvested to make tequila, it takes a minimum of 6 to 7 years for that plant to mature, so it can be made in tequila. It develops the sugars and everything, and they just can't keep up with the demand. So they've had to, use technology to make tequila, things that taste. I mean, it's still 100% agave, but they're harvesting them at 3 or 4 years, and they put them through this big machine called a diffuser, and it has all these chemicals that bring out, that change the starches into sugars, and it's just not a natural product anymore.
So by that logic, at some point, are we even going to have 100% agave if we can't keep up with demand?
Yeah,
It'll be more expensive.
Yeah, they're actually growing.
So should we stock up now? Is that what you're saying?
Stock up. They're growing agaves now in greenhouses, but it's for any producer to actually grow. I've had tequilas that were grown harvested at 12 years old, and what a difference! Oh my God, those tequilas have developed natural sugars that you could just taste the difference. But the average public, again, they don't care.
What about this one, El Cesaro?
That's very good.
We did a tequila show. I was trying to find. Sorry,
they're very good.
forgive my absentee, but I wanted to find this one because we did a show about tequilas, and somebody said that there's no additives, and this is their number one favorite. And you think this is good, El Cesaro? Do you have that one?
El Cesaro's good.
There's
Is
a
that
lot
at
of
your
good
restaurant?
tequilas.
No, I don't have
And there's a lot of very expensive tequilas, and it's
And this one's not that
interesting.
expensive.
Well, it's not inexpensive.
Well, it's expensive, but not the most expensive.
No, the most expensive.
Oh,
you're
it's
up into
kind of
hundreds
expensive.
and thousands of dollars.
Okay,
for
so how
these.
much would that be? So how much tequila is?
Maybe $80.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe
El
$80.
Cesaro?
The reposado is probably about $80. Yes,
Okay.
because I paid for it when we did the tequila show.
So
There
how
you
many
go.
how many tequilas do you carry at 7?
Thank you.
5, 10, 20?
That's a good question.
Probably between like 7. We probably have 7.
And what are your top 3 that you sell there?
Obviously Casamigos, which I don't like Casamigos.
Anymore, because you said that they were now additives.
They're all additives. You could literally
Yeah.
taste the sugar. I hate it.
Yeah.
And then if I'm out and people are ordering shots for us and they get Casamigos, I'm like, why?
Okay.
Out of all the options.
Well, because
Okay.
they don't know any better, and because it's George Clooney, and
Yeah.
it's because.
But he sold it.
Yeah, I know, but he started. They still.
So that
he
they still
is-
remember
yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah. And,
Well, it's
you know,
interesting
it
for
tastes, to most people, it tastes good.
For the repo, if you're comparing it to Patron and Don Julio's repos, I think it's a tie with Don Julio's repo, like for shots. And
Better.
those are usually the ones that you can find at most restaurants that are like around 15 to 20 a shot. And then if you want to go for Clase Azul, that's like going to be double or triple the price. So it's not really worth it.
But are there additives in Clase Azul?
I don't know. I have to look it up.
Can you look it up? Because that's important. Because you have Clase Azul, you have Casamigos, and what's another one? What's your favorite one that you guys serve there?
Oh, none of my favorite is on there.
What are your 2 favorites?
Also, I would say like Don Julio overall is just a common
Don Julio
Pretty
is
good one
is
that
is
everyone
great
has.
because
what about 1980?
1948.
Oh yeah, 1948. Sorry,
47.
47.
1948.
What?
Don Julio.
No, it's 1947, isn't it?
No, it's Don Julio 1948.
Which one are we talking?
1738.
Okay, wait. What
No,
is it
it's-
called? I'm not a
It's
tequila
Don Julio
person.
1948.
But isn't there something that's not Don Julio that's like 1480?
1480. That's
No,
ancient.
No.
Okay.
That's old.
So what is your most expensive tequila?
Exactly.
I think across the board, anyone who sells tequila, the most expensive is going to be Clase Azul.
Okay.
Because that bottle alone is expensive.
Well,
Oh,
some
yeah,
places
they're
have
handmade
Sin
bottles.
Coro now, which is Jordan's, and that stuff is more expensive than Clase. And I think it's actually better than Clase Azul too.
I think Clase Azul just also has
No, it's 1942.
1942.
1942.
And
Okay.
We're all wrong.
And I'll tell you why it's called
1942.
1942.
And I don't drink tequila.
Would you like to know why they call it 1942?
Yes.
That is the year that Don Julio Gonzalez, at age 16, distilled his first tequila.
That's why it's 1942. Okay.
So it's a commemorative bottle. But he's really interesting because in the mid 80s, Don Julio was the first real premium tequila to be introduced from Mexico to the U.S. So it was the first kind of premium sipping tequila that became popular. And so he has that as a history.
Have you heard of Don Julio's cousin Lalo?
Is Lalo?
Lalo, the tequila.
No.
It is newer. It is, I think it's either the nephew or the cousin of Don Julio himself who created Lalo. And it is more all natural.
Yeah.
Tequila with no additives and everything. It's
How do you
really
spell
good.
it?
Lalo.
Yeah, cool. Good to know.
So if you were going to choose the tequilas and start over, what would be your top 3?
My top 3 tequilas. See, it's hard because I'm the type of person who will go to a bar and be like, just give me a shot of tequila. And they're like, oh, what kind? I'm like, the one that hurts. I don't care.
Damn, really? Because I noticed such a crazy difference of when I let my friends buy the shots and they get well, you feel so much worse the next day.
Oh,
That's not an urban legend. So why wouldn't you just pay a couple more dollars per shot to not feel terrible the next day?
Because I just don't care. All in all, if I'm mixing it with soda, it
Sounds
all
like
tastes the same.
Chet, you and her as friends need to go out and do some tequila tasting. Sounds like-
You're
What do you
buying
mean?
good
We
stuff.
just established that we have
Yeah.
totally different views on what to drink. I'm like
Tequila.
very picky.
But why can't you show her and she can show you and see?
No, because I already have tried that. I don't want to.
So
I don't drink well.
Okay, so non-tequila question, or there could be a tequila answer. It's what is the most ordered drink at your bar?
That's a good
Tito
question.
soda. Tito
What?
soda.
What is it?
Tito soda.
Vodka and
Tito's
soda.
soda.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, interesting.
1000%. Everyone is
Now,
always
is it
drinking.
true
So
that Tito-
boring, but
is it
everybody loves it
true-
for some
Okay.
reason.
Everyone's drinking Tito's.
Is it true that Tito's made from corn? This is what I've.
That's
I
vodka.
don't
I
know.
think it is
It
because
is
it's
made
gluten
different.
free.
It is
Yes.
gluten-
Yeah, it
free,
is.
yeah.
It's made from corn.
Oh,
Not
okay.
grain. Not
Yeah,
wheat.
you knew that. So we have a few more minutes left. What's on your bucket list? Here you've been saving the planet by saving lives and saving children and saving humans.
Yeah.
And now you're making people have joy as a restaurant bar manager, bringing an experience. What's on your list?
My
Give a
ultimate
minute.
My ultimate goal is to build a nonprofit. Actually,
Oh,
I
good.
love
Good.
that.
To do what?
Oh, that's
For what?
yes.
it is to help the foster kids out of high school develop into functioning, proper, growing adults.
I love that.
So kind of
That's so
building-
needed.
Yeah, so kind of building them up into, the person that they need to be because, they're not really loved
Oh,
throughout
that's so
their entire
true.
childhood. And
Because they
so
adopt out of the system and then
they're just kind of left to go and figure it out.
That's so true.
So it's to
Good
help
for
guide
you.
them.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's
Let us
great.
know when you're gonna do it. We'll all pitch in.
We'll all
whatever
pitch
we,
in.
whatever we can.
Thank you. I appreciate
No, we
that.
will.
No,
That
yeah,
sounds
that's
great.
on my list.
That sounds great.
And so being a GM, I'm using this leadership opportunity to be able to grow something like that.
And you probably see a lot of youth.
I'm a little disappointed though. I thought maybe you'd come up with a way to kind of combine the hospitality industry, bar, and the ambulance business. Like have a bar on the ambulance.
That would be great.
Ambulance, you know?
And if you could
That
only
seems so
register-
counterintuitive.
That was funny. That's
But if you-
funny. That's
Well,
a good
I
job.
think it's a great
I love
idea
it.
because if you can only
Saving the
register-
planet.
one
One
drink
show at a
time.
One
time.
drink and show at a time.
We're already
Bye-bye.
pushing you with fluids.
Yeah.